Well, classes are back in session in Saskatchewan. It's always so exciting for many students, ready to show off that new backpack, see friends you haven't seen all summer, and get back into the regular routine of reading, writing, and arithmetic. Let's just say it was busy at my house this morning. How are you guys feeling about school?
Good!
What are you most excited about?
My new music teacher.
Ooh, and what are you nervous about?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
No.
Okay, well, I'm nervous. Otto, what about you?
I'm excited.
Yeah, lots of us are excited. And yeah, I'm nervous too. But following a 2023-2024 year of job action and heated conversations about the state of education, we're wondering now, how are people feeling about heading back to school this fall? Teachers, parents, and students, we want to hear from you. 1-800-716-2221. You can also email bluesky@cbc.ca. Well, schoolyards are buzzing today with students excited to hit the books. The CBC's Chelsea Cross met up with some students and a parent to ask how they are feeling about the return to school.
Hi, my name is Cassie, and I'm going into grade 10 at Aiden Bowman.
And how are you feeling about that return to school?
Quite nervous and kind of sad. School is school, so
Sad?
yeah, since I have to do more math. At least I have cool classes, and I get to see my friends, so that's a good thing about it.
My name's Sarwat,
And what grade are you going into?
grade 10, sophomore.
So how are you feeling about going back to school?
Kind of excited, kind of nervous.
Typical.
I'm Alexis. I also go to Aiden Bowman, and I'm also going into grade 10.
How are you feeling about going back to school?
I'm actually really excited. I have a lot of classes that I wanted, and I'm really excited to do them.
I'm McKenna, and I'm going into my sophomore year at Aiden Bowman Collegiate. I have mixed feelings. I'm happy and sad. I'm happy that I get to see my friends more because I don't really do that in the summer, but I'm sad because summer's over. And that means work's got to start, like with school.
My name's Trey. I'm going into grade 8.
And how are you feeling about that first day of school?
I don't want to go back.
You had a good summer?
Yeah.
And I have some questions for your mom. Can I get your name as well?
Solange.
And so as a parent, how does this time of year make you feel?
Anxious, excited, and stressful all at the same time. I have 2 boys. Hopeful that they just enjoy their year with their friends and their teachers, and that they just have a great time at school.
I'm going to grade 6. My name is Jenny.
And how are you feeling about going back to school?
Very excited and I think very happy.
And why?
Because I can see my classmate and my favorite teacher.
Students and a parent in Saskatoon. Today we are asking you, how are you feeling about heading back to school? You can call 1-800-716-2221. You can also email bluesky@cbc.ca. Definitely a mix of emotions for folks. Last year, the school year ended with the teachers union and the government agreeing to head into binding arbitration. The 2023-2024 school year was frequently disrupted as negotiations stalled and teachers took job action. But in many ways, fall is a fresh start. So how are some teachers feeling about it all? Ryan Hicks is an STF rep for his school. He teaches music at Riffle High School. Also a grade 9 homeroom teacher. Busy morning for him, and he's taken a moment to join us here on Blue Sky. Mr. Hicks, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
So how are you feeling about the return to school?
I'm feeling really good. Summer, I like when the kids were talking about that, I was like, same kids, same, summer's great, and as you mentioned, there was many
challenges inside and outside the classroom last year. And I know for a lot of teachers, it was a very chill summer. Like, I don't know a lot of people that had like a full schedule, got to do this, because we just needed time to just be still, right?
Yeah.
And I had that opportunity, and it took kind of like a few weeks just to kind of shake off, the stress of last year and those legitimate things that were stressful.
aren't necessarily resolved, even though arbitration's happening, those sort of things. We still have full classes. We still have, complex needs of students. And so going into this year, I'm a little nervous, but I'm also optimistic because you don't know what you don't know, right? And so if there's a silver lining of anything last year, really good conversations happened about, well, what is happening? What's the reality in schools? What should school be? What do parents want school to be? What do kids want school to be? And those conversations are still ongoing. And I think something that everyone can agree on is we really value our kids. We really value our students, and we want them to have the supports and the best opportunity they have. And so for me, just having some quiet time away from school, I'm coming back really refreshed, energized. This is my 24th year of teaching. And I honestly can say, I know I'm old, right?
No, not at all.
I feel it. My body tells me that. But like I still love my job. I feel very, fortunate to get to do what I get to do, to be a teacher. I get a lot of strength from being with the students. So, even that excitement this morning, it's a very busy, loud place, but it's like, it feels really good to be back. It's so nice to see kids and hearing from the parents. Like, I'm a parent too. I've got 2 kids in high school, and everybody's anxious, but it's so nice just to get back, get in there. And I think the kids will like being back, like having the routine, hopefully lots of opportunities for fun in the classroom, outside the classroom. And so I guess what I'm saying is it's great to be back.
Yeah, and I dropped off 2 kids to elementary school this morning, and there were nerves. You heard them off the top there. Mm-hmm. They were excited, but it was a busy morning. And, I feel refreshed after a wonderful summer. And so feeling, very on top of things. I've got meatballs in the slow cooker. But we couldn't find the piano books this morning. So it's kind of like that, the first day back is just, it's hectic, right? So take me into your house. You said you've got 2 high school kids. What was it like this morning for your family?
There's kind of like a morning, it's like summer's gone or that, like 2 more days or 2 more weeks or, there's the last weekend. And my kids are honestly really stressed. They're really stressed about it. They like school. They like seeing their friends, but it's a grind. They have sensory issues, and school is a very busy, loud place. It's getting busier and louder. And it's, although they love education, they love learning, just the environment of it, of so busy, so loud, it's difficult for them. So I'm hoping for the best with my kids. I'm hoping, can be calm and peaceful. And as you know, I'm excited as a teacher, but also I'm worried as a parent because, even though they're high school kids, they're still my babies, and I still look out for them. And I know they're in good hands, and I know the people that are their teachers will love and support them with all their needs too.
How do you talk to them about the stress that they're feeling? How do you prepare them for the week?
Well, I'm realistic about it because I am in a school, and I try and encourage them. And it's one of those things that it's stressful because it's just sitting there. Like I'm telling them, it'll be okay. It'll be nice to get back, focusing on the positive, focusing on, all the good things to look forward to. Nice to see their friends, nice to get back involved in extracurricular activities and things that you have, focusing on the positives. And the thing is, I don't have a crystal ball, right? So as a parent and as a teacher, it's hard to forecast what things are going to be like 2 weeks from now or a month from now. And so just staying kind of like in the moment, what's in front of us, I think there's really good things for everybody, including my kids. So just focus on that.
Mm-hmm. What about the kids that joined you in that grade 9 homeroom this morning? How are they doing?
They're great. They're very much, it's an unnerving thing because like you're kindergarten to grade 8 usually for a lot of kids in one place. And then they come here and it's a bigger place. And like, you might know some people in your classes, but it's like, who's that? And that person went to my school in grade 4, and it's kind of a buzz, and it's great. It's awesome. It's so nice to see the grade 9s, and it very much takes me back because the school that I'm working at now is the school I started at grade 9. So like literally this classroom that I'm in was my grade 9 homeroom many, many years ago. And so it's really nice. It's really, really nice to see that.
How full is that classroom? I am curious about what your workload looks like this year.
It's challenging, right? There's a lot of things. For me, I'm very happy to be here. I have 4 classes in 4 different classrooms, so I'm moving from class to class to class. Teachers, have a full schedule, and they do have some prep time, which they need to mark things, prepare things, that sort of thing. But there really isn't any space. So, in the past, you might have an empty classroom and it's quiet, you can get your correcting done, but the classrooms are full every period and it's a busy place. So, just worried about people having the time to do their job, right? You need time to do their job. And workload. Some of the classes I'm teaching, I've taught before, and I love teaching them. And it's tough. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's a very challenging thing. I love my job, all of it. The good things and the bad things. And I'm very, consider very fortunate that we get to be here, get to work with students. And I think too, post COVID, or still in COVID, but having something taken away at once when you didn't expect it, it really makes you examine what's important, what's not. And I'm just so grateful to be back in class with students, doing the things that matter, like the in-classroom curricular things and the extracurricular things. I'm just very grateful to be here.
Yeah. What are you hearing from other teachers? I've heard from some teachers, I know people who have left the profession. I know of others who don't even really want to talk about just sort of the last year, and it's like, let's just move on. So, you kind of hear everything. I'm wondering what you're hearing from teachers.
Well, we say last year like it was like an anomaly. Like, where did last year come from? Things came to head, but things were already there, like the class sizes or the class complexity or all the issues, legitimate issues. Those didn't just occur last year. And those aren't resolved, and one day, the contract will be resolved, but those issues are still there. And I'm optimistic. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm hoping that everyone realizes we're on the same team and can work towards helping students, because I'm realistic enough to know it's not like a simple fix for anything. These are complex problems and it takes a team effort. And I think that's how a lot of teachers are feeling. They're worried about their day-to-day. Like, I have a new class, I have to prepare this, I have to get this. But then they're also like, what's it going to be like 6 months from now? We know what the forecast for the projection for enrollment next year is, and it's going to be 200-300 kids more, and we have no spaces as now. They're worried. They're optimistic, they're hopeful, but they're also worried about the future.
You're also implementing some new rules. So the cell phone ban, I'm wondering what that looks like at your high school and how that's going over.
Well, we had a cell phone ban before. When students come in, they park their phones, and we expect them to park their phones. And generally, it's not usually an issue there. Straight up, I'm on my phone probably as much as the students are outside of school, and I totally get the things. And it is a distraction, right? Like, I appreciate parking my phone and putting it away. And, what that looks like in every school and the enforcement of that, I think there's going to be some bumps in the road. I think the intention is good, but the practicality of what's it going to look like and what are the consequences and all those other things, I don't necessarily have the answer. I think it'll probably be a little bit of a bumpy road for everybody.
Okay, well, I know you need to eat lunch before you continue on with your school day. I really thank you for taking some time to talk with us, and I wish you well this school year.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
That's Ryan Hicks, who is a high school teacher in Regina. We're hoping to hear from you today, whether you're a teacher as well, or a parent or a student, or just anyone who's listening and might have thoughts. It is the first day of school for most folks in Saskatchewan who are attending school. How are you feeling about it? Let us know. 1-800-716-2221. You can also email us at bluesky@cbc.ca. Boudica Wells McInnes is facing some big, exciting changes this fall. The Saskatoon student is starting grade 9. They're excited, but also worried and ready to do a lot of advocacy work this school year. And so Boo joins us from just outside of Walter Murray Collegiate in Saskatoon right now. Boo, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Thanks for being here. Tell us all about that first morning, grade 9. Wow, how was it?
It was pretty good. It was definitely very hectic, and there was a lot of people, definitely. But yeah, it was good.
How much different than elementary school?
I wouldn't say it's outwardly super different. It's definitely, there's a lot of change, and it's a way bigger school, and there's a bunch of stairways and huge hallways, and the classrooms are kind of confusing. But teacher-wise and anything, in grade 8, they kind of prepared us for this, where they would do alternating classes, so we'd have to walk to different classrooms for each subject. So, yeah.
So you were somewhat prepared. Hey, anything catch you off guard this morning?
No, it was pretty just what I expected, especially after the orientation I think it was July. But yeah.
So
I basically,
smooth sailing.
yeah.
So you're obviously talking to us on a phone. I'm assuming it's a cell phone. Before we get into a few of the other issues and things that are on your mind, I'm just wondering about the cell phone ban and how that affects someone like you in grade 9. What does that look like at your school?
At our school, the teachers, they just talked about it and everything. And I don't mind it. I personally also think that cell phones can definitely be a big distraction. But also, I think that cell phones are a huge part of everyone's lives, and especially the lives of our youth. I think it's definitely still important to allow students to kind of embrace that part of society almost. And I'm definitely not for students just being on their phone texting during class, but I feel like cell phones can also be a really good learning tool, or they can help you during class, or if you have a question but the teacher's super busy, you can maybe just look on Google or something. It's just, I think sometimes it can be very beneficial.
So what are the parameters? When are you allowed to use it, and when does it have to go away?
So basically, our teachers, they talked about how we are not allowed to go on the class unless we have a talk with them about why we have to use it or when we have to use it, and then they will either give us permission or say, no, just wait till after or at a break or lunch. But they talked about it as if they were kind of like the mediator, so then we just explain why we'd use our phone, and then they'd either say yes, or they'd say, nope, just wait.
What would you say you were looking forward to most as you start high school?
Definitely the community and the environment. With elementary school, you're kind of just stuck with the same people for 8-9 years. And it's great. You make a lot of friends there. But in high school, there's such a large variety of people that you kind of get to make friends with people that share the same interests as you, or are in the same classes or whatever. It's just, I find the community to be much more diverse, and I really like that. So I was very excited to make new friends.
Yeah, was that diversity popping out at you? Were you gravitating towards new people, or were there signs that you're going to find your place at that school?
Mm-hmm, definitely. I knew some of them from camps and just things outside of school. But to see a large group of people of wow, these people are my people, it was very nice to see.
What made them your people?
Well, I'm a neurodivergent child, so definitely queer or trans or neurodivergent people, or people who love anything to do with art or band or music. Those are very much the people that I gravitate towards too.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I know high school is such a huge stepping stone, but it is this whole opportunity to meet just a ton of new people and to really find a place for yourself. Boo, don't go anywhere. Stay on the line. I still have many more questions for you. I'm Leisha Grabinski. You are listening to Blue Sky. It was so busy this morning at my house getting ready for our new routine involving school. My youngest started kindergarten, so very exciting, but also a lot of things on my mind. He was a bit nervous. We want to know today how you're feeling about heading back to school. You can call us at 1-800-716-2221. You can also email bluesky@cbc.ca. We were just talking to a teacher who very excited on the first day, but very aware of all the issues that we talked so much about last year when it comes to classroom size and all of that, the workload. We're also going to hear from a parent who got a call from the school saying that they don't have adequate supports for her child. So we'll hear her story coming up. And right now I'm talking to Boudica Wells McInnes, who just started grade 9 at Walter Murray Collegiate. Boo, so lovely to hear all the things that excite you about high school this year. But what are some of the things that are on your mind that maybe worry you a bit?
Yeah, definitely just the capacity of our school. And I know I'm just a student, but I've noticed that teachers have had to put in a lot of extra effort to work around new policies that have been installed. So it's definitely, I'm very excited for the new school year, but I'm also looking forward to maybe just almost having a fresh start and like, I don't know, just being able to have a school where every week there isn't something new that we have to discuss, like a big strike or, anything like that.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the things, though, that you are still talking about? I'm wondering how the pronoun policy affects someone like you and your circle of friends.
Yes, the pronoun policy, I personally think is detrimental. I didn't have a problem with it because I have a very open and kind of supportive family, but a lot of my friends don't have that, and I just noticed that some people, they think that it's an issue for those couple of kids in a classroom, but honestly, it's not. It affects all of us. It doesn't just affect the couple kids in the classroom that are trans. It affects everyone, the parents, the teachers, the students. And I personally, I witnessed firsthand, my friends, when they found out that it happened, we were all texting each other, what is this? This is not okay. A lot of my friends were panicking. But it was just heartbreaking to see when my friends saw that if you already changed your name or pronouns, then they wouldn't have to contact the parents. It was so heartbreaking to see the absolute relief on a bunch of my friends' faces. It's indescribable.
I'm trying to imagine what it would be like to start school today with all of that still being in the background.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely still an issue that I think about constantly. I'm going to rallies. I'm trying to work on my activism and advocacy. But yeah, it's interesting that you get to start a huge chapter of your life and it's going to be so exciting and so fun, but there's still a lot we need to work on with the next coming years.
What about the changes of how sex education is offered in schools? Outside organizations aren't able to come into schools to teach that. I'm wondering if that is something that's on your mind too?
That is also definitely a factor that I've been thinking about quite often as well, because honestly, if the youth aren't educated properly, it can lead to a lifetime of unhealthy relationships or not even knowing how to get proper consent or just really unhealthy habits that they carry with them for the rest of their lives. And also, I found that last year, the teachers, they were already doing so much for the students. They were doing a lot, but then for sex education, we had to learn it all within the last 2 weeks of school, crammed into a couple periods. They had to stay inside at recess. They stayed after school in case anyone had questions that they didn't want to ask in front of the class. I found that it was definitely a lot of extra work for the teachers, but it was also if we continue down this path, it can be very harmful for the youth of today.
So is that something that you're going to work on advocating for? Is that part of your activism, do you think, over the next year or so?
Yes, definitely. I did. Oh my God, I can't talk. Sorry. I participated in an article a while ago talking about it. And we just discussed how it would be an issue and what that will look like in a couple years. But yeah, I'm also, I'm talking to a couple of leaders in the community, definitely a lot of MLAs from the NDP party, trying to figure out what we can do to not kind of resolve this issue,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. This is a lot. You're just starting your high school career. You've got a lot on your mind, and this follows years of just some difficult times. You went to elementary school in COVID, and then of course your last year of grade 8 saw disruptions because of teacher negotiations and the job action. So, are you hopeful for a bit more stability this year?
Yes, that is definitely something that I'm looking forward to in the following years. Not to say that it wasn't the last couple of years were still great and enjoyable. It's just there has been so much changing and evolving and just things being thrown at the teachers, the parents, the students, that I'm really hoping that this year we can kind of just tone down a little bit of that. So just have definitely have a more stable year.
Boo, so good to talk to you today. Good luck with grade 9. I think you're going to do awesome. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Bye. Boudica Wells McInnes, grade 9 student in Saskatoon. We want to hear from you, whether you're a student, a parent, or a teacher. How are you feeling about heading back to school this fall? It's obvious there's a lot of things on the minds of folks. So 1-800-716-2221. You can also email bluesky@cbc.ca. Now, Kath Stevenson and her children were gearing up for another school year. But just a few days ago, they got a call from the school saying her son's school day would look different than the typical 9 to 3:30. Kath joins us on the line right now to tell us a bit more. Kath, welcome to Blue Sky.
Thanks for having me. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. And so my understanding is your day looked a bit different than some other families. What exactly were you told?
Yeah, so when we left last year in the spring, so just to clarify, my daughter is 7 and is in the Francophone division, and my son is 10 and in the public division in Saskatoon. And he has Down syndrome and is autistic. And when we left the school year last year, which was incredible, it was so good for both of them. We had a great plan moving forward, and we really had in mind that he would transition fairly quickly into full-time within the school. In fact, our sort of thought was last year was a little tricky because they didn't know him and things, but this year we really thought we'd miss today, which is a little bit overwhelming because it's a half day and they're switching classrooms and homeroom teachers and stuff, and we know where he's going to be. So we just said, yeah, okay, we'll start on Wednesday instead of Tuesday. But we did get a call that they don't have enough EA resources within the school. And so us and some other families are being asked to keep our children home starting at noon for the foreseeable future.
So your son will only go for half a day, and then from noon onwards, he's with you.
Yes.
How did you react to that, Kath?
So I would say it's disappointing. I want to emphasize very much that from our perspective, just focusing on this situation with my son, the school has been incredible. The supports have been really great. The principal and administrative staff, everyone has the same goal, which is to have him there full time with the appropriate supports. It is disappointing because really last year was quite challenging, and that this just kind of has thrown our family into a bit of uncertainty and ambiguity. And there's just not really clear understanding of when we might be able to see him there full time. So we're having to reorganize our lives. I typically work from home, and so I've got quite a lot of flexibility, but I just injured myself quite severely, and I can't drive, can't even really walk at this point very far. So my husband's going to have to come home to get him from school and bring him home, and then I'll figure out how to manage him here.
Yeah. What do you think your afternoons will look like? I mean, grade 3, kids are typically in school 9 to 3:30. And so what do you think your child's afternoons will look like?
Yeah. So just to clarify, he's in grade 5.
Grade 5. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Grade 5.
Grade 5. I'm not sure. I think we'll just have to sort of work with his interests here, which are music, and he loves hockey and reading and stuff. So we'll do what we can, have him outside as much as possible. But again, I I ruptured a hamstring, so I'm just a little immobile. So
Yeah.
that's thrown a bit of a wrench into the works. I do have like family and other supports who have sort of put their hands up and said, do you want us to come and spend some time? Happen to be on holidays that week, that kind of thing. So we'll organize ourselves, but it is significantly kind of more ambiguous and unclear than I was hoping for this year.
Yeah, and I apologize that I mixed up what grade
No,
he's
that's
in. But just to clarify, so he was able to go full-time last year?
Yes, we had a very slow start for a variety of reasons, but eventually he was there full time. Yeah. I mean, not counting the job action and all that.
Yeah. So what reasons were you given by the school? I mean, I understand the obvious, like they don't have an educational assistant to be with him, but do you have an understanding as to like what are the broader reasons for not being able to offer your child that support?
Well, I guess for me, I just say like maybe the conversations last year through job action around class complexity and classroom supports could be a little bit kind of conceptual for people. For us, it's very practical. My understanding is it's a combination of like not having enough EAs, not having them in the right places and needing to shift them around. I would assume that you would probably attract more EAs if the pay was potentially better. I know they're not paid very much money. But yeah, I mean, and again, I'll emphasize last year we had the two most fantastic EAs. I think in most schools, they try to have more than one EA assigned to your child so that there's not burnout of either party. You know, a child can get tired of being with one person. So he right now has an EA from last year that will support him in the mornings, but we're just waiting on the other one. So.
Can you maybe share just a little bit more about the support that he does need? Give us a sense of what that looks like. And I do think that I recall last year hearing from other parents and going to great lengths to support their child. So I heard of people getting a police record check so they could be there with their child over the noon hour, and everybody's needs vary, right, depending on what your child needs. So if you could just elaborate a bit on what it does take for Hugo to have a successful day at school.
Well, he needs one-on-one support at all time. He does, I think they do a great job. He's at Buena Vista School. They just do a great job of seeing the role of the EA to support him to participate with his class as much as possible. But they also have him out of class for a significant portion of time, just working on his own academic needs, like reading and writing and those kinds of things, where he's further behind than the other kids in his class. So I think they do a great job, actually, of balancing integration and one-on-one support. And again, it's just this matter of him needing that one-on-one support at all times. And partly it's for safety. Like he doesn't wander or anything, but he does, you know, he really gets excited about things like being in the gym or being outside. And there's big stairs in those old schools and things. So he really does need someone with him at all times. Yeah.
Yeah. Leading up to this show, I did speak to another parent who does happen to go to the same school. And so I know that you're not the only family that is facing this. This parent too was told to pick up the child at noon and that they were working on arrangements that it wouldn't be forever, but for the foreseeable future, this person would be expected to pick up their child. Do you have a sense of how many other families are in the same situation?
I think it's a significant number. Like it's more than a small handful, but I don't feel comfortable sort of trying to guess at the number. What I do know is that the school takes it very seriously and is working very hard to sort of figure it out. And I gather that, like I said, I think because of this registration happening in the fall, and sometimes surprises coming in terms of who's showing up to the school and the need for flexibility, I think as a division, they have to work really hard trying to like figure out where the resources need to be put that are available, and then going through the process of hiring in additional resources where there's gaps. So it might, I don't know.
Part of back to school includes figuring out all the other pieces as a family. You know, where are the kids going to go after school if you're working full time, extracurricular activities. So I'm wondering for you, Kath, what it's like to find any kind of aftercare support for your child.
Well, it's pretty much impossible unless we have bottomless pockets. So I think, and in the community of families that I'm in contact with who have similar challenges, it really is a huge issue. So basically, before and after school care, um, I think there might be one exception, but the organizations that run the before and after school care in Saskatoon anyway require you as a family to pay the salary of the support who will help your child and to pay a minimum 3-hour call out, even if you're only using the service for an hour or an hour and a half. So if you add that up over time, that's like thousands of dollars extra a month that you would need to be able to afford to have your child in before and after school care. Additionally, the other option would be to try to find a childcare center or like home nearby. But the grants that support those centers to support children with more intensive needs, as I understand, haven't been increased in approximately a decade. And there are families in my circle that have been sort of told, sorry, we can't take, little Johnny back this fall. We don't have enough funding from the government to provide the support. So you're just kind of left with trying to reorganize your your work life so that you can be home in the afternoons. Yeah.
But how do families manage? It's not easy to just be home.
No, I don't know. I think a lot of people lean on grandparents, aunts and uncles again. I think it's a really interesting question, and I'm really glad you asked about it, just because I think it's a hidden fact of life for lots of families with children with higher needs. It's not common for families like ours to have both parents working full time. In fact, a lot of the time, at least one parent has to stop working. So we've been lucky because I have had flexibility and things in my work that we've managed, and my husband too. We've sort of taken turns being flexible, but not everyone has that option. And then, you're left with the choices. The childcare grants and things that have lowered daycare fees have been awesome, but we're still facing the same questions lots of families used to face. Is it worth working when all of my salary is going to pay, for example, for the after school program? What's the point? So, yeah, there are hard realities of being a family with children with higher needs. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm speaking with Kath Stevenson, a parent of 2 kids in Saskatoon. There's still time for you to share with us how you're feeling about heading back to school. The number is 1-800-716-2221. You can also email bluesky@cbc.ca. Kath, what do you think you learned over the last year when really what your family has been experiencing was so at the center of many conversations? Like you said, it was conceptual, but then you're living it. It's real life for you. So what do you think what did last year teach you?
Well, our family is 100% behind the requests from the teachers for what they need. And I would say what we learned is that commitment from the teachers and the principals and the vice principals. Everyone is incredibly committed and just really needs the support from the government to do the work that they want to be doing. We learned how to be a lot flexible, I would say. And I will, we were nervous. My family also has the additional challenge that my son's immunocompromised. And so we actually kept him out of school until last year. He was in virtual school. And so the school year was a real leap of faith for us last year. And I will say both of my children, Nora, who's in the Francophone division, and Hugo, were so happy with their year. They were so delighted. And Hugo has been basically saying, when do I get to go back? When do I see my teachers? When do I see my AEAs? And it kind of breaks my heart that we've had to delay him a day, which we agreed to and we were prepared for. But then also just that he isn't going to have the full experience for right now. So yeah, just thinking about how so many parents take pictures on that first day and they're posted online, and like even I feel like I'm finally kind of coming down from a bit of a hectic emotional morning, and so to put myself in your shoes, just thinking about how you must be feeling
on a day like this when you know, like most families are sharing those first day photos and it's back to school and off you go.
Yeah. I will say too, Leisha, like this is our experience, and I see lots of photos from families in our circle of families with children with Down syndrome and other challenges where the kids are starting today. And so that obviously, you know, is a family and school decision. And but yeah, so we posted today, Nora. She's pretty excited going into grade 2 and ready to take on another year. But hopefully tomorrow we'll take our picture with Hugo, and I know that if the principal and those that have control over the situation at Buena Vista have anything to say about it, we will be there as quickly as possible. So.
And once you can be there, I'm wondering what excites you most about the year ahead. There are going to be some big milestones for both your kids. And so when you think of the year ahead and once things settle down and you are into a better routine, what are your hopes for the year?
I think for Hugo, it's this returning to work with at least one of the EAs he had last year. The EA that he's been assigned is just super skilled and has a ton of experience working with children and has really helped him in literacy and numeracy. And so I'm excited to see that academic growth, even though sometimes we question how much, like, you know, when is it time to move him maybe into a life skills program? There was lots of support that now is not the time. He's got a lot of academic potential left. So I'm excited to see where that goes and how a second year, you know, where he's more comfortable, where they don't have the same time to warm up and get to know their routine and he's ready for it. How much he's going to grow and develop in this year is pretty exciting for us. And for Nora, I think, you know, she started in the Francophone division without any French, and she managed very, very well and got up to sort of where they would expect her to be at the end of grade 1 last year. So I think without that, again, she had 3 months or so where she kind of just took it all in. And now she's starting, you know, ready to go and able to participate fully from the beginning. So yeah, it's just super exciting to see how friendships will grow and skills will be learned. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Well, Kath, I appreciate you taking some time to be with us today. And if you can, keep me posted on how things go.
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you again, Kath. Take care. That is Kath Stevenson, who's a parent in Saskatoon. Now, we did reach out to Saskatoon Public for a bit more information and some context on how they're managing students who need EA supports, educational assistance, but we did not hear back in time for the show today, so we'll continue to follow up and hopefully we'll be able to provide a bit more information. If you've been listening, I know in Saskatoon, students only had a half day, so I'm thinking about, you know, all the hecticness of getting to the school today to pick them up at noon, get them some lunch, and then hopefully have some fun this afternoon. And most students go back for a full day tomorrow. So you may have just been listening in your car as you got kids from point A to point B without a chance to call in. But if you still want to share your thoughts, how you're feeling heading back to school, we'll take your emails anytime. And so the email to reach us, bluesky@cbc.ca. I'm Leisha Grabinski. You're listening to us on CBC Radio 1. That's 94.1 FM in Saskatoon, 540 on the AM dial, 102.5 FM in Regina.